Elvin, owner and founder of Elvin Original, is an artist of many mediums. Educated at University of North Texas with a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, she not only inspires others, but she's a mentor for anyone pursuing their artistic abilities and furthering their journey as well. When I look at your art, I feel like you have a style. Are there things day to day that influence you? Are there people that influence you with their own ideas? What sets you apart from other artists?
I think it's safe to say that I get influence from everyday life. Obviously, the people that I have in my life, the conversations that I have, what I witness, what I see, where I travel to. But the biggest influence is viewing other art by other artists. I am constantly viewing other work, whether that be at galleries, museums, online. That is a big part of my art process, and the time that I spent in creating my art is viewing other artworks. I think obviously I've developed a style. That style has transformed and grown over the years, and I anticipate it will continue to transform, which I'm excited to see. But one thing that separates me from other artists, I would have to say, is my mind. I have always felt like I have two sides of me. I have this very creative, free-spirited, rebellious, rule-breaking, don't hold me back, don't give me any boundaries side. And then I also have the complete opposite, a very analytical, a very realistic, a very organized, a very structured, a very process-oriented side to myself. And I think that is in all aspects of who I am as a person. So it's in my art process, from creation, from literally the beginning stages of an art piece to the end product. And I think that's represented in the end product as well. So for example, in the creation, I of course think of a piece first. My next step is I'm going to verbally write it out. I write a verbal description of what I want the piece to be, what I want it to feel like, what I want the visual aspects. So whatever details I have visually, I put those down in words. The next step after that is I create a sketch. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, that's the analytical side of my brain saying, okay, yes, this concept that you have in your head can actually become an object or an art piece in reality. So if those two things are able to happen, if I'm able to write it down verbally, then I move to the next step. If I'm able to create a sketch, then I decide whether or not I actually want to create the piece. The creative side of my brain comes into play in the fact that the end piece doesn't have to be exactly what I described or exactly what I envisioned it to be in my head initially. I allow the art piece to kind of transform and take on its own life, a lot of times outside of what I ever anticipated. But it's been proven to be effective for me to at least have that process, so I don't get midway and realize, oh no, there's this big huge problem, now I can't finish the piece. That frustrates me because I just spent all this time, and so working on a piece that I can't finish. So going through that process allows me to anticipate challenges or problems that I can try to solve beforehand and not having to deal with them on the fly. But yet also letting go enough to allow the piece to transform and become something different than what I initially realized. And I'm okay, but I think that my mindset and how I work through and my process, that's what makes me different than other artists, and that comes across in the end product. So the end product, a lot of times, yes, there may be some free form spaces, but it is very controlled in some aspects. I like the presentation to be neat and clean and organized and spaced out properly, and I don't like torn edges or crinkled paper or chaos. So the end product, I think, is a good representation of what goes on in my head as well.
When you were younger, before you were educated, before you went to college, was there a time that you saw yourself being an artist? Or are there any other professions right now, or is art just your full-time passion?
When I look back as far as I can, I think being an artist was the first thing that I told someone that I wanted to be when I grew up. Of course, that was when I was really young, 4 or 5, 6 years old. That transformed, over the years of my life. I grew up dancing, so for a while I wanted to be a professional ballerina. When I got more involved in the arts and the art possibilities, I considered being an architect. I worked in a law office for some time, and many people told me that I was very political in my responses. I like to dig deep and find the truth and argue my point. So I considered being an attorney. I didn't like a lot of aspects of that arena, so that transformed into me being interested in medicine. Of course, that didn't last either. All the time, even when things changed and I thought about being different things and entering different aspects in the world, the one constant was art. I always had art in there somewhere. I always dedicated time to creating artwork. So I'm glad to say that it is now one of my main focuses in life. It is not my only one. My husband and I also have a health and wellness business. We of course focus on the transformation of the external of our clients using their internal numbers. So everything that we do is medically qualified, kind of coming back to my interest in medicine. But mostly we deal with the mental and emotional side of our clients. So finding out what caused them to get into that health crisis in the first place. A lot of that times we find is unhappiness. People are going to jobs that they hate every single day. They dread getting up in the morning. They dread going to work, and you're spending the majority of your life in that environment. And so that energy and those negative emotions are affecting our clients internally. So we do a lot of soul searching with them. We try to help them identify what their passion really is in life. And once they identify it, get them to believe in it, and then put a plan in place to make that their financial income stream so that they don't have to go to a job that they hate anymore. So a lot of what we do is empowerment. It's building people up. So much of this world beats everyone up and is so negative. We do anything and everything in our power to encourage our clients. A lot of times that's just a pat on the back saying, good job, look at what you've done so far, keep going. Other times it gets a little bit more in depth than that. But in that process, I found that I really do enjoy educating people. I really do enjoy encouraging people. I enjoy empowering individuals. And so I want to not only use that in the health and wellness business, but I want to apply that to my art side as well. So the past 2 years, my art creation has been much more limited than I would like. So I'm working on bringing a balance back, putting about 50% of my time in the health and wellness business because I enjoy that. I don't want to step away from that. But I also want to incorporate more time dedicated to my art and the development of that. I will say that this kind of break that I've taken the past couple of years has been beneficial. I've really been brainstorming now about who I want to be as an artist, who I want to represent myself as an artist, what I want my art to mean, the impact that I want to have on the art community and the art world. So this break has allowed me to brainstorm all of that and then also build excitement into creating the new me as an artist. So I'm very excited about the next steps that I have for myself and for my art career. And I'm excited to get involved and to help shape and bring up the young and aspiring artists.
What kind of advice can you give our young listeners and entrepreneurs about being an artist?
Oh man, I don't think we have enough time to go over the advice that I'd give to young artists and entrepreneurs. There's so many things that I know now that I wish I would have known when I was entering art school, when I graduated from art school, when I created my first commission piece. But if I had to pinpoint just one thing, one piece of advice that would impact them forever, it would be always have mentors. Always have mentors around you. And lots of different kinds of mentors. So most people, when they think of mentor, they think of a person, one-on-one that they can meet with and see face to face. Absolutely, that can be the case, but expand that vision, and a mentor can be anyone that is helping to grow you and make you a better person. So that can be coursework that you invest in. That can be, social media groups that are involved in trying to expand and promote other artists. So always have a mentor around you. Knowing the importance that that has had in my life has motivated me to create a coursework and a coaching program for this exact demographic of people. Young aspiring artists or existing artists that haven't been successful in getting their art out there. I am in the beginning stages of creating this coursework that will focus on 2 specific areas that I found that artists struggle with most. One is mindset. Having the right mindset to grow yourself as an artist and grow yourself as an individual. I am determined to get rid of the phrase, the starving artist. If you take ownership of that, if you speak that, if you allow other people to coin you as that, that becomes your reality. That's what you think. You think that, oh, if I enter the art realm, I am going to be starving. I can't be successful. Absolutely not. But a lot of it comes from your mindset. Where are you coming from? What are you thinking about? What do you envision as your big goal? Are you dreaming too small? Are you not dreaming at all? Do you have self-confidence in yourself? So really focusing and drilling down on the mindset of what is needed and what mindset you should have in order to be a successful artist. So that's going to be the first point. Then the second point is basic business principles. There are so many things that I have learned working in the professional environment, working with other artists and galleries, and being married to my husband, who is a business consultant. I have learned so many things about business that I've kind of taken for granted. And when I talk to other artists, they don't know these things. They don't know basic business principles. They don't understand why it's important to have an EIN number and what that does for them. They don't understand why it's important to create a business entity. When you create an actual business and a real legal business, you're giving it life, and therefore it can thrive. It can breathe. It can it can expand. And then so many artists want to live off of their art, but they are not applying business principles that are needed in order for their art to pay them like a business. In my course and career and through conversations and things that I've seen, I never really saw artists struggle with the creation aspect of their art. The majority of artists are able to develop their style. The majority of artists are able to identify what medium they like to use and what they're best at. What I have found that artists struggle with is how to communicate with professionals about their art, how to network with people, how to create their business. The simple business things that will make them and help them be successful are the things that they struggle with. So it is my goal now, and that's what I'm wanting to do in order to give back to the art community and hopefully to shape the art community, is first off, get rid of the saying, the starving artist. And secondly, help teach them the basic business principles that they need to put in place that will help push them to that next level, regardless of what their goal is. So, you know, I'll give you a little sneak peek into my head and what my goals are. You know, I say every single day that I am a $1 million artist. I have no doubt in my mind that my artwork will sell for millions of dollars. I am speaking that, I am believing that, and I am taking action in that every single day. So no matter how big or how little your goal is, if you're wanting to pursue art and you're wanting art to be your main source of income, you have to learn how to make it your business, and learning basic business principles and having a mentor around you and the things that you don't know as you move forward is critically important.
Thank you so much, Cheyanne, for all of your insight and just your positive spirit and entrusting that information and knowledge with us and inspiring other artists like yourself. We are so thankful for your time today. To see more of Cheyanne Elvin's art, make sure you check out cheyanneelvin.wix.com/ElvinOriginal or our Facebook page at Melody Roots Podcast Radio.
Live your life.